So this morning I was talking to some clients who were involved in a car crash, pretty kind of run-of-the-mill common car crash where, husband and wife were in the vehicle. I think husband was driving, and I think they got T-boned, or they got hit by another car that missed a stop sign or something. And classic whiplash injuries, and sort of the classic scenario where I think they're both in their 50s or maybe early 60s, and like everyone, has some things that are just starting to get achy in your body, and the kind of the fancy medical term is degenerative changes. So as you age, the parts of your back, especially the discs, start to break down. They don't work as well, and you start to get, a lot of us start to develop low back issues or neck pain. But it's usually something that we can more or less live with. Maybe some days it's worse than others. Maybe you go to the chiropractor and they make some adjustments and it's good for a while. And so it's very, very common for most of us, especially once you get, into your 40s and 50s and older, to have some of those natural underlying changes. But it isn't really interfering with your work very much. And a lot of people can, have, say, degenerative disc disease and be completely unaware, we call it asymptomatic, not actually having any symptoms from it. That's a very common situation. And then for a lot of people, you get into a car crash, or you trip and fall or something like that, but especially like whiplash injuries from car crashes, suddenly those things start hurting, and you go into the doctor. Maybe they order an MRI, maybe they just order an X-ray, and it shows degeneration of your discs. Well, I guess, a lot of people, I think, and even doctors say, well, we can't really blame it on the crash because the crash didn't cause degenerative disc disease. But the crash may have taken that condition from something that was sort of asymptomatic, not really causing any problems or minimal problems, to something that's now acute. Now it's causing pain. Now it's worse than it was before. It's an aggravation of that underlying issue that's going on. That's a very, very common thing that happens in car crash cases and whiplash injuries. And a lot of people, I think, just assume they just have to kind of live with that. These clients specifically, I needed to explain to them that no, if the crash made it worse, yes, the insurance company for the other driver isn't responsible for what was wrong with your back beforehand, but they are responsible for anything that got worse. Maybe it's more painful now, or it's more common now that you have flare-ups, and they really didn't know that. And this is something I'm explaining to them, is it's really, really important that you're going to the doctor, going to your chiropractor, and that you let them know what's going on, so that those complaints make it into the medical records. And so even if you had a prior injury, even if you were involved in a prior car accident and you had some neck issues or back issues from it, and now you get into another one and they're worse, you're still damaged from that accident. You may still be entitled to compensation for that, and the law allows you to get compensation for any additional injuries that are caused by that. And in some extreme situations, it takes someone who had an existing neck or back issue from a whiplash, but was able to manage okay. Now it's to the point where now I need surgery. And if it's something that triggers the need for surgery, those are the kinds of things that the law recognizes and permits damages, even if part of the reason for the surgery is because of a prior injury or degenerative disc disease. If this new event, this new crash, sort of puts you over the edge, triggers something, that's compensable, and people are entitled to make claims for those injuries and should make claims for those injuries, and that's why we have car insurance. And so it's really important, if you're in that situation, to not not just assume that, well, there's nothing I can do here, this relates to an old injury. No, if this made it worse, if you're having symptoms now, or you have to have a surgery now, or you're going to therapy now that before you were able to live with, you're entitled to compensation for that, and the insurance company should pay for that. And that's why it's really, really important to talk to an attorney. Find yourself a credible, good personal injury attorney. There's no charges for the consultation. It doesn't cost you anything to talk to an attorney and ask around. Maybe ask for some recommendations online in your Facebook groups, things like that. Find lawyers that other people have worked with before and book a call with them. There's no cost to that. You owe it to yourself to at least find out, and then they can help guide you in terms of whether you have a claim that should be pursued or not. So anyway, appreciate you listening. If you would like to reach out to me, just go down to the description. My link tree is there. Send me an email, call me, whatever works best for you. I'd be happy to talk to you. Otherwise, I appreciate you watching. Thanks for following my channel, and until next time, everyone, have a good one.